3. I hope you are fine. Today we're talking about most important chapter 2, which is talking about hormones. Yeah, of course, hormones they are stimulating substance that found inside the living organisms to act as activator or to activate some organs or other glands to do their function. So let's start with hormones in plants. Of course, the plants also have hormones, which is covered by Boyson Johnson. They explain the phototropism and the curvature of the growing plants towards the light or towards in case of phototropism, towards the light or towards to the water or towards to the gravity. All of that is called tropism. So Boyson Johnson, when explained this phenomenon about the tropism, or especially about the phototropism, he is talking about the auxins secretion. We heard it before in senior 2, but it's talking about the plant hormone. That means the auxins here is a plant hormone. Yes, they are plant hormone that's secreted by the plant. Response to the stimuli. Maybe this stimuli is light or gravity or amount of water. Oxygen is a chemical substance, or it's also called indole acetic acid. It's secreted from where? From the part it's called surbityle or tips of the leaves. And this part don't contain any glands, but how they can respond? How can feel that you must secrete it? How which organ that activate them to secrete it? They are secreted through what? They are secreted through the stimuli. Yeah, if they have a stimuli of light, they will secrete the auxins. So the auxins held in growth, so the part will be longer than the other part, so cause the curvature of the plant. That response of the plant by you causing curvature towards light or away from the light. So here, Poisson Johnson explained this part about the hormones in plants. Of course, auxins is very important, or are very important here because it regulates the plant growth as its response as hormones for growth. Also, it organizes the tissue development. It organizes all the development that happens inside the tissue. It forms the flower and it forms the fruit and it's responsible for growth. Also, it affects all the physiological functions that happen inside the plant tissue. Physiological functions means here it it affects the amount of the water that goes absorbed according to the amount of the water it may be towards it or away from it. So it affects the physiological function. But today we are talking about the endocrine system, the human, and how and what are the hormones that found inside the human. Of course, the nervous system has a nervous control. Also, endocrine system has hormonal control to control all body activities. Yes, here we have endocrine system that contain endocrine glands. What are the endocrine glands? Yeah, endocrine glands, they are ductless glands. They are glands that secrete hormones directly to the bloodstream without any duct, without any tube. And if they have any increase or decrease inside of the hormone, that will cause physiological change or cause some symptoms that changes due to the increase or decrease the normal level of these hormones. So these hormones are secreted by sufficient amount, and this sufficient amount, if increase or decrease, it will affect and cause some symptoms that's abnormal symptoms of the organ. Hormones. Do you know what meant hormones? Yeah, it's a chemical substance that's synthesized or secreted by the glands, by specially glands, maybe endocrine glands as we talked before, or maybe by other glands as we will talk about now. Here, these glands secrete the hormones directly to the blood or through the duct to help for growth, to help to do function. So here the effects of hormones to where to the organs or to other glands. Maybe to the organs directly or to other glands to stimulate them. Who discovered the hormones? Claude Period. One of the scientists who discovered the hormones by discovering the secretions that found inside the liver, and he said that the liver have internal secretion and external secretion. Internal secretion of the liver, which one? When it stores the sugar, while the external secretion when secreted the bile juice that help in digestion is external secretion. So from here he discovered the hormones. How did the science know that the function of hormones? By knowing the symptoms, by can measure the symptoms, or by studying the symptoms that cause due to the enlargement or removal of these glands, or by knowing the chemical structure of the endocrine glands, so they can know the vital effects. Characteristics of the hormones. There are a lot of characteristics of hormones. The hormones are considered as organic substance made up of protein, except of course the steroid hormone or lipid hormone that made up of lipids. The hormones are secreted in small amount, maybe 1/1000 grams, micrograms. Hormones have a lot of functions. Number one, it keeps the homeostasis and it keeps the internal structure of the body. Number two, it acts or activates the growth of the body. It's used for complete maturation of the sex organs, like steroid hormone or lipid hormones. Also, it's used for metabolism or utilizing of food. Finally, it's important for the behavior and emotional of the intellectual development, like adrenaline, it affects my behavior and emotion. Types of glands. We have two types of glands. Exocrine glands, of course, three types. The first type is exocrine glands, which is a duct gland, which secreted directly its hormones directly to the duct, not directly to the blood, but directly to the organs or to the gland through duct, like sweat glands that secreted this one external, and like the salivary gland through also duct but internal inside the cavity. Or the second type, which is a mixed gland, which you have exocrine and endocrine, which is pancreas. It's only organ that known about that. It have both glands, mixed glands, have both exocrine and endocrine. The third type and final third type, which is called ductless gland, and these glands secrete the hormones directly to the blood without any duct. Let's start in the human body and see the endocrine glands here. We have a lot of endocrine glands. Let's start with the first one, which is called pituitary glands. They're found where? Under hypothalamus part of the brain. It's called pituitary gland. The pituitary gland consists of two parts, which is neurohypothalamus, which is a posterior lobe and infundibulum of the brain, and adenohypothesis, which is the anterior and middle lobe. Here, look, here we have pituitary gland. Here is the infundibulum, our stall, and here is anterior and here is the posterior. So the anterior part called what? Adenohypothesis, and the posterior called neurohypothesis. Okay. Growth hormones. It's a hormone that secretes from pituitary gland, from adenohypothesis, means from anterior lobe, and this one is responsible for synthesis of protein and the control of the physiological growth. And if it decreases its secretion, which is called hyposecretion, it leads to dwarfism. And if it's increasing secretion or hypersecretion, it will cause in childhood called gagnosis. and in other called acromegaly, as it enlarges the hands, feet, fingers, and so on. When I ask you, give reason. Hypersecretion of growth hormone in other cause acromegaly. Yeah. Why? Yeah, of course, because it increase the secretion of this hormone, cause enlargement of faces, arms, legs, and hands, and so on. The second, the hormone is called pituitary trophin hormone. They are hormones which activate the other gland or other organs. Other glands to secrete hormones to secrete hormones like thyroid thyrotropin hormone or thyroid stimulating hormone TSH, which activate or stimulate the thyroid gland to secrete thyroxine hormone, which is responsible for metabolism. Also, we have adrenocorticotropic hormone (ACTH), which affects on the adrenal cortex of the kidney or suprarenal of the kidney, which found above the kidney, and affect on it to stimulate them, which is called adrenocortical hormone. Also, it affects on the gonadotrophic hormones, which have a function of gonads, which are ovaries in the female and testes in male. So it secretes FSH and LH. Also, it reduces the prolactin hormone, which secretes the mammary gland to secrete milk. LH and FSH both are responsible for female sex organs to complete or to form. Hormones of neurohypothesis of posterior lobe, they are formed in neurosecretory cells, which they are nerve cells that present in under the hypothalamus region of the brain. So they secrete these hormones from the posterior lobe of pituitary gland. Look, they are neurosecretory cells from the posterior lobe. So it's called neurohypothesis 1. They secreted by the nerve secreting cells in the hypothalamus, and there are many hormones like ADH, which is called antidiuretic hormone, vasopressin, from its name, antidiuretic. That means it increases the reabsorption of the water that's found in the nephron of the kidney. Also decrease the volume of the urine that produced or that excreted. So when decrease the volume of the urine, what happened to the pressure? Yeah, of course, the pressure will increase. So we can use it as medicine to treat the low blood pressure. Also, we have another hormone which is called oxytocin hormone, which is used to in delivering or lapper the child or the baby, as this hormone control and increase the contraction and relaxation of the uterine muscle during the labor or delivery of the baby. So some doctors use this one to help in the process of laboring of the child or accelerate the birth. It also stimulates the mammary gland to secrete the milk during lactation period. So it releases the milk by milk releasing hormone. If this have a disturbance occur in the neurohypothalamus of pituitary gland, what is the effect? Yeah, of course it affects the effect on oxytocin hormone, which is responsible for mammary glands to secrete the milk. Also for the oxytocin hormone that helps to accelerate the birth, it will affect it, and also it have it effect on ADH, and it will lower the blood pressure and don't reabsorb of the urine. Thyroid gland, we'll talk it inshallah. We'll talk about it inshallah next session. Thank you and goodbye, and I hope you understand this part. Study hard. Good luck. Senior 3.